Hello, everybody, and welcome to Graded Point Live. If it wasn't Xavier's day off, I would be here all alone.
It's a fantastic day to be here. How's everybody doing today? Oh, wait. It's just us. How you doing
Yeah,
today, Wayne?
I'm doing good, Xavier. Hope everything's been going well with you today. Um,
Yeah. Had a fantastic steak dinner that I had to go, but
hmm
still pretty damn good.
Yep. Um, so Ryan Johnson is getting head from Kathleen Kennedy. Not so much, considering.
There's there's a mental image I could have done without.
Yeah, thank you. This better be better than reading Yowie on the toilet. I have several questions. And none of them are fit for.
Yeah.
But
Like who sits on the toilet and jacks it? That's just fucking weird.
might be a bit unsanitary too.
Oh yeah. Oh no, I've nutted all over my tub and my wall. Shit. Now I gotta
hmm
clean it up.
hmm I poop in there.
Yeah.
Um,
I feel like the kind of person that would do that, just sit on the toilet and jack off,
hmm
or flick the bean, whatever. I don't judge.
Yeah.
Is also the kind of person that will clean it up later,
hmm
not right away.
Yeah. But this is Piper that said that. So yeah.
We're off to a fantastic
This
start.
is amazing. So, if you're wondering what the image is on the screen here, um, this is Renfamous's recent cosplay, and you said this is Ramona Flowers. I don't keep up with dumb shit, so
Yeah, that's Ramona Flowers from Scott Pilgrim.
okay. So, yeah, this is her broad, broad, broad backside, and even though Piper is in the chat and not in here because apparently she's got the icky sickies. She was able to make some point out some very interesting information. Uh, for one, we'll start at the top and go down. For one, we're trying to figure out what's going on with the shoulder region here. Uh, um, I'm starting. I've been one of the few people who have like defended Ren. When people said that she may be transgender. I'm starting to wonder. I mean, she's got the shoulders of a fucking linebacker here.
Damn.
uh, so yeah, and also, she's apparently on her jacket. She's got "fuck comics cats."
Is there another group that we don't know about?
Yeah.
Is this like the Comicsgate version of the Color Cabal? Comics Cats for life.
Yeah. Isn't that the same cosplay she always does? I don't know what the fuck that bitch does.
I think she's doing it because everyone's made fun of her forever because of that blue wig,
Yeah.
and cause called her Ramona Flowers.
And also, she has done other cosplays. They were all terrible, but she has done all other cosplays. I mean, she did. Xavier, you know anything about Last Airbender or Legend of Korra?
Uh, More about the original than Korra.
Okay. Well, in the last season, there was a character named Kovira, right? And Kovira was
Mm-hmm.
a real bitch. Um, Whereas, like Avatar Aang, like spent his entire life, keeping the balance, make sure all the nations are four nations and yada
Yeah,
yada yada. We set up this city, Republic City, so there wouldn't be, that everybody could talk and have a good time. Blah 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 blah. Peace, love, dope.
yeah.
Um, well, in the final season, barring literal gay shit, which did happen, there was a character named Kovira who got the bright idea. I want to reunite the entire Earth Kingdom, not just the Earth Kingdom. Ba Sing Se, but the entirety of the Earth Kingdom in under one banner, mine.
Sure. Good luck with that. Wish you luck in your future endeavors.
Yeah, and also, since I'm doing this, I might as well, take over the rest of the world because,
Yeah, of course. If there's time.
yeah. And so I just, that's just a sidebar. But don't you find it funny that that Ren would pick that character as something to cosplay?
Um, it's always funny. Some people always pick characters that they look enough like, or that they have a group and they need to fill out slots. We need one of these characters.
Mm-hmm.
Can't have more than one because we're trying to do a big photo shoot.
Mm-hmm.
But there's always those people that form those real personal connections to those characters,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes it gets really fucking weird. Like, you learn a lot about somebody based on who they choose to connect with, or
Mm-hmm.
they're me.
Yeah. And of course, and then the obvious
Yeah.
thing about this costume is the belt's broken. So that tells me when this Ramona Flowers thing, she's probably done this before, right? She's probably had this cosplay before, but now she's getting a little bit too big boned.
Yeah, well, you don't burn the same kind of calories sitting around on Twitter 8 hours a day that you used to holding a steady job.
Yeah. And so apparently now people say, "Oh, the belt doesn't fit." No, if you look closely here, the belt broke.
We're well past doesn't fit.
Yeah, this belt broke. Like that means she tried to slap it on her fat ass and it broke. And if you notice, there's a piece of string holding it together. You can look if you look really close.
Yeah. It's like it worked for like 2 seconds, and then she moved and snap.
She was all like, "Ha, got it on. I haven't gained any weight. Fuck you, comic skate." And all of a sudden,
That's the sound. That's how I imagine it sounding too in my head.
just like uncorking. Hold up, Ren.
A gut that wasn't there all of a sudden hangs down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, personally, anyone can cosplay as anyone, but wear clothes your size. I mean, yeah. She literally said that her belt had been broken for 10 years, and she's just been arsed to get it fixed for 10 years. 10.
Yeah, I've been meaning to get the brakes changed in my car for a number of years. I'm sorry, officer. I just never found the time to do it. Those people are okay though, right?
5 of them are dead. Well, that's a shame.
Accidents happen, no sense crying over spilled milk.
Well, you see, I'm broke and I buy a new belt every 5 months. I mean, there you go. I mean, well, you see, you got to understand. Ren used her stipend from Deadbeats to buy Renfamous.com for $350 after getting trolled into it.
And she's still in the red.
Yeah. Well, what I was saying, she used her stipend and then had to add another $345. Because
somebody had to go without so she could have a nice shiny fiver.
I want to point out that I don't have one that's studded, but I have a belt that's like that with the loops, the double loops and everything. I've had that belt for like 10 years. I'm a fat ass. Right? And I fully admit that I'm a fat ass. And I've never broken a belt.
I have a buddy that has that kind of belt, but he's also got one of those bodies where you fucking hate him for his metabolism.
Oh,
because he looks like he couldn't gain weight if he tried.
Mm-hmm.
So all his clothes from high school still fit, and it's been like 15 years. 12, 13 years.
So and I bet he eats like Andre the Giant, but looks like I don't know,
Yeah.
Usain Bolt. Trying to think of skinny man. Okay, let's see what chat's saying. Crazy stuff.
I love our chat.
I buy clothing at the thrift stores and then sew them together when they ever rip on me. Thank you, Mom. Some cosplays can be straight up purchased at a thrift shop. When she gets paid for that comic, she can afford one whole box of wine. Since Piper's in the chat, she don't have to. She can just have no simpy in the chat. She don't have to. I rarely wear bills because I tend to wear pants that fit whenever I can. Yeah, that's good that you can do that. All of us, most of us,
Yeah. Piper said you're singing the praise of thrift stores. Who made that thrift store song?
Oh, thrift shop. Was that Lost Lonely Boys?
I don't know. I don't even remember all the lyrics. Just remember you go into a thrift shop with $20, you walk out and a whole new wardrobe.
I know somebody found like an actual like one of the old gold carts for like Legend of Zelda, the original.
Yeah, I got gold carts.
They got a gold cart from the thrift shop. They paid like $1 for it.
Yeah. The gold Zelda carts. They're
not that rare, but
they're not. Yeah, they're not expensive either.
Yeah, but it's still cool to find.
They're the ones that people want.
Macklemore, that's who did the.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, the gold carts are the ones that people want the most because why wouldn't you?
She went on the new diet, Fat for Life.
She only eats foods that start with vowels. So this morning for breakfast she had eggs and Oreos. tonight for dinner she's gonna have asparagus and Oreos. I've been on that diet my whole life. I can't believe how healthy I am.
I read your weight loss. I read it. I didn't, see it. I didn't read it. I didn't say it though. That's She went on an all vodka diet. Well, my doctor said to eat more potatoes.
Just inject them into my veins. 20 minutes later, she has an inexplicable Russian accent.
I would love an all mead diet. At first, I said all meat diet. And I was like, well, there is the Atkins diet, but then he said all mead. So he means he wants to go on that Viking diet.
I'm a little fuzzy on mead because there's bad mead out there. You get bad mead your first time trying mead, it'll fuck the whole drink up for you. Me and my buddy, we bought this mead because like Red Guard or Ragnar. It's like Ragnar mead.
When you said Red Guard, that's like that's gonna get like weird. But go ahead.
No, it was Ragnar. So
the Blood Edge. Yeah.
So we start. No, that's Ragnar. But
I know. I'm fucking with you.
Ragnar the Red is a song from Skyrim. So we're sitting there pouring a glass of mead for each other while playing Ragnar the Red on YouTube, and we drank it like. This is what I imagine the bottom of the garbage can, when there's like mysterious garbage liquid down there tastes like. Smells that way too. Take another swig at it, like I don't want to do this anymore.
Oh, the
to the vodka.
I don't want to know how she used that bat. Oh.
But yeah, we instead after that we started coming up with mixed drinks, where the goal was to create a roster of drinks that you don't taste the alcohol, so you don't realize how drunk you're getting. We named the first one was an Insurgent, and it was a strawberry vodka and Coke. Take a shot with it, as we call that the Charlie Wilson, and we're gonna have this. Basically, we're gonna call this roster like 7 or 8 drinks. Call it the Mujahideen.
So
No,
you're waging war to liberate yourselves from the commies is what I'm getting.
right, yeah, just shot a straight Scotch. As a double. That's your Charlie Wilson. Not everyone is prepared to wage war against the Mujahideen, comrade.
Let's see. So this photo is basically telling CG and anyone else we suck. No, that's not Comics Gate. It's Comics Cats. Can you see?
Um, if there's any CG, like really big CG shit posters in our chat, because I'm sure we got a few.
Mm-hmm.
I want Comics Cats hashtag Comics Cats trending today.
I want it trending by 6 a.m. in the morning. I want to wake up to that. It's good. It's like the best thing about beer and wine in one drink, sorta. And I'll drop some off next time I travel to Medieval Circuit. Yeah. Y'all just having a conversation, ignoring us. But let's see.
Ignore me.
Yeah, fuck Comics Cats. Except for Taco. Taco is a great Comics Cat and also a good intern.
Does fantastic work.
Yeah. Yeah, we had to slow the intern down a little bit today. I was like, all right, you need to have a sippy. Someone needs to draw a lame '80s cartoon cat. Going wheeze best. What if I liked SWAT cats? That was pretty cool.
Hey, they're very comic booky. I mean, you can make that work.
Hey, okay, so guys, y'all want to see some funny shit about somebody trying to duck a process server and thinking, I think they literally have the mind that if I don't get the papers, then I can't be sued. I don't know if you remember, guys, last night, but we talked about this briefly. Jamie Markey, having to change her process server so he can at least affix it to the door so she can be properly served because she refuses to answer the door. And so she makes like a post like this. By the way, Ty Beard has this. She goes, "Don't mind me. I'm just here hiding in my home. Oh, and walking the dogs, getting groceries, pet supplies, targeting. I bet you she's a cat lady. $10, cat lady. $10. Targeting a lot. Planting and taking care of my front yard garden. Working, attending announced conventions. I'm the best hider in all the land. Hashtag plain sight. Hashtag ninja moves." She thinks being a pretentious little shit is going to save her from getting an audience with the beard.
Oh, you poor bastard! You have no idea what's coming for you.
Mm-mm.
I'm a little fuzzy on the serving process. I think that they have to go through every reasonable attempt to get in touch with you and let you know that you've been served.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's actually a point where if it's impossible, they may still proceed without you.
Mm-hmm.
Or like really weird shit can come into play, like law enforcement might come into it.
Mm-hmm.
I wish we knew somebody who was a process server.
Mm-hmm.
Because that'd be like a lot of fun questions to ask them.
Yeah. Like I said, when reading through it last night, because you weren't here yet, but he made I think it was 7 or 8 attempts, and he could clearly see her looking out her door. Her car was clearly in the front of the apartment. And I also did something today that I don't usually do. I did a Google Map search of her place. And what was really funny when they took the picture of that in front of her apartment. You know what she had in front of her front lawn?
You know what?
A Beto O'Rourke sign.
Can't even support a real candidate.
Oh, Beto, he came so close to winning in Texas. He almost won in Texas. I said he lost to Ted Cruz, who everybody hates. Nobody likes Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz doesn't like Ted Cruz.
Yeah. Beto, what are you going to do for, the poor and the hungry? Watch me skateboard.
Oh my God, is Beto just the Democrats' W? Is that what we're getting at here?
Beto, what's your plan for tax reform? Check out this guitar solo. It's called Vote for Me. And in parentheses it says every day.
Did you just like modify that line from Carl from Aquatino Girls?
I absolutely did.
Thank you. I was gonna say.
I want to rock your body.
And in parentheses, to the break of dawn. I think the scene directly after that gets me every time. The way he jumps on the lady. He's just it's just the position that he's in when he does it. It's like, this is the most hilarious thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, the dude is screwing her navel.
Yeah, pretty much. So basically, he's just a minute on the internet. She's dodging a court summons. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And not only that, but she kept antagonizing people. She kept, like, at one point she says, "Well, why should I accept the summons when they could just put it on my door?" What it tells
me
me
is, make sure
is,
you know it.
It tells me she doesn't have an attorney, because, like, at least for the insanity that was Rial's and Rontoye's lawyers, response, at least they had an attorney, right? Because he accepted their, he accepted the notice for them. At least they did that much.
So I just did a Google search for what happens if you avoid the process server.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. If someone is looking to sue you, divorce you, obtain child support, or many other legal issues, they may be attempting to have the papers served on you. A process server can be hired to track you down and serve the papers on you in a legal manner. However, if you are aware that someone is looking to serve you, you may go out of your way to avoid the process server. You may think that you could avoid being sued if you cannot be served by the process server. But this is not true. If you avoid a process server, it does make the process of suing you a bit more challenging for the person bringing legal action against you. But it does not mean that they cannot proceed. If the person trying to sue you can prove to the judge that they have made a reasonable attempt to serve you and have been unable to do so, a judge may give them a few other options to serve you. If you are avoiding a process server, a judge may allow the papers to be left at your home or business with any competent person over the age of 18. A judge may also allow the summons to be mailed to your home or business address via certified mail. If either of these methods fail, the judge may allow the person looking to take legal action against you to post notices in local newspapers. There is a myth that legal action cannot be taken against you if you avoid a process server. This is not true. It simply puts off the inevitable and drags it out a bit longer. As such, you have nothing to gain by avoiding being served. I can't wait for that frickin' front page headline, "Local woman is served."
Like I said, I mean, I don't understand, because it's in Texas and she's like traveling to other states and stuff to do cons and stuff. It's kind of hard to serve her directly, but it almost makes you want to, right? Like, you just go to one of her cons, with 10 of her fans, right? And it's just stand in line, waiting in line. And then, get to her, get to you. And he goes, "Hey, Jamie, big fan. I liked you in, whatever anime she did." And it's like, "By the way, you've been served," and walk away.
I think the only issue you would have to run into is, I think that you need some sort of permission from the state attorney general to serve somebody in another state.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you need their permission to come in and do it. However, if her guest appearances are forecasted so far in advance,
mm-hmm.
it's probably feasible you could get that permission relatively quickly without issue. The only problem you would have is her potentially ducking out
Yeah.
again, and then you got to go to the next state,
Mm-hmm.
or filing for the potential to sue in another state just in case this one doesn't work out.
Yeah.
They might try and think you're up to something fishy.
Yeah, and I, actually, somebody said, yeah, Piper said, "Can you sign this for me?" You don't necessarily need you don't need that signed. Um, all it is that you accept service.
And the most important thing is that you are physically and verbally made aware you are being served. The court requests your presence.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was summoned by someone signing so annoyingly outside my door. I opened it to find out what was happening and was served. Sigh. Singing. Oh, someone was singing and you were annoyed and you were like, "What's going on out here?" Whoop. Oh, yeah, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but what I was saying is like you don't need to they don't necessarily need to sign it, just like notification that you have been. Because I saw one person, they were trying to serve somebody. This is on TV, and because this he's one of these guys. He records like when he is gonna serve somebody, and they were being very belligerent. They wouldn't open the door, and he tried to tell him you're being served. Tried to hand him the paper, and they slapped it out of his hand. And
Never want to do that.
Mm-hmm. And all that stuff. So he went and called the cops because that's assault at that point, right? And so the cops come to the door, and she said, this, that, the other, blah blah blah. So my man balled up the papers, threw it in her house, and said, "You've been served," and walked away.
See, if the cops are feeling bored enough, they could slap you with, I think, assaulting a government employee.
Yep. Yeah, that was the one and only time I've been evicted. It's been rough being a 6-foot bear. She kept claiming I was growling and glaring at her, and she had lived there longer. That's a terrible fate, my man. It's bad, pretty bad. But yeah,
based on the stories I've been hearing from the processor, just trying to track server, she orders a lot of pizza. I would find out where she's ordered her pizza, or see if you can come up with some sort of arrangement where you can, next time a guy comes to deliver pizza, you walk it up to the door. Somebody ordered Domino's. Cool. Sign here. Oh, by the way, you've been served.
I've seen some process servers. They give them as gifts, like actually wrapped up presents and stuff like that. It's really funny. I hope I never get one. Because, of course, I would just like answer the door. It's like, oh, okay, well, thank you. It's like, well, no, that's non-dramatic. Did you order a pizza, ma'am? Extra sausage.
I don't know. She might be into that because Jamie Marchi does all those like really, really fan servicey ecchi shows.
Mm-hmm.
Like she was that crazy bitch in Shimonetta. Mm-hmm. It was trying to get everybody into sex and shit.
Yep. So yeah, now they've as far as like they changed it so they could either serve it to somebody who's of the age of 16, because it's 16 in Texas, you can get a service, or just taping it to her door, which I'm pretty sure that'll get approved, no problem. My neighbor got served custody battle papers in an ambush. Like, whoa, she was avoiding them really well. So they freaking hid outside on a Sunday. Popped out when she went to get something from her car. Ha! You got served.
Gotcha, bitch.
God damn it. Yeah, so dumb shit. It's going to be one of those, what is, the thing that Nick Rekieta likes to talk about. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
Oh, yeah, because this is going to come up in the actual court case.
Yeah. So, if you were so willing to tell your story, why are you, why are you hiding?
He was talking all that good shit a second ago.
Because can you imagine if Ty does what Hulk Hogan's lawyer did to Nick Denton and makes her read some of the shit she said?
Oh
You
man,
you remember that
that's
shit?
gonna be. Oh yeah. Read this part here. I want his head on a stick. I want his balls. I want him to hurt.
Yeah. Now
Nothing
read
further.
this part where you were talking where you bragged about ducking a process server.
What about this part here? Let him sue me. I don't care.
Yeah, yeah.
Now this part here. I ducked the process server today. Interesting story you're telling the court.
She would be one of those types that would be uncooperative with her um, own lawyer. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Um, One thing I'm interested in is whether or not these cases will move on forth individually. Like, Jamie Marchi's tried separately,
Mm-hmm.
or Vic Suzer separately from Rontoye and Monica Real and Funimation,
Mm-hmm.
or if they're being bunched together into a single case because, Monica and Ron are pushing for a jury trial or a jury case.
As Nick Rupp points out, they want a jury trial in Texas.
Uh, they're fucking this up for everybody.
Yeah.
Because if it goes to a jury trial, fucking they gotta bring Monica up and to make her tell her story. She is not going to be sympathetic.
Mm-hmm. Now, as far as Ron and Monica go, thank you for the segue. Let's talk about what what the dumbass lawyer did yesterday. And like I said, bringing a bunch of people into this because he started citing IO9 Tumblr blogs and forum posts and things like that to quote prove Vic Mignogna is a harassment machine apparently. So this is a user on Pretty Ugly Little Liars. By the way, can't you wait? Can you wait for like when Casey goes to the judge and he says, "I have this from the forum Pretty Ugly Little Liars," and then the judge will be like, "Pretty Ugly Little Liars? Yeah. So it's a forum full of liars?"
Care to explain or clarify?
So apparently, because of this filing, and as Nick Gricado pointed out, may have inadvertently gotten a lot more people involved in this case who didn't want to be. And also I don't know if you saw that, but the name of the Tumblr blog that they quoted it says the story of Vic Mingina.
Are we sure this is the same guy?
That's
This isn't Vic McNognog.
That's what Nick said. He said that is not the same person. You can make a case that's not they're not talking about the same person. So this is some panic mode, which is by a user named Bitch Please. Perfect name, by the way.
Defense would like to call Bitch Please to the stand.
I'd like to call Casey Casington, aka Bitch Please, to the stand. So here we go. We'll read this. Is it true that Casey has basically thrown Pool under the bus, aka fucked us over? I have been lurking at KF, Kiwi Farms, and the members of Kiwi Farms, one of whom is a lawyer, plus blackface lawyer. They don't, still want to get Nick. We got him. Lawyers, all of them are now saying Beard can subpoena Pool and get Pool members to actually have to go to court and tell their horrifying stories. I'm not sure what Casey's plan, but it's probably a good plan though, right? I mean, he definitely can't be more shitty lawyer than Beard, who we already know is just in it for the money. But for once, I won't take the side of Monica, Ron, or Casey and side with the victims and be blunt. Are you kidding me? Why did Casey have to fuck over with victims who are already traumatized with Vic's actions? Now, mind you, I don't have any stories to tell, but I do believe victims. It's making my blood boil over imagining these poor victims to have to talk about it and get reminded of the horrifying stuff Vic's done to them. If this is true, then I'm really worried about these victims. Plus, Monica already herself has 2 incidents which she could tell, like hair pulling, etc. That is sexual harassment and would immediately get Monica and Rod on the good side of the court and the judges. But Casey, for some reason, didn't use it, let alone mention. I'm worried about Monica and Ron now. I'm not a legal expert, but even I know it would be much more easy to just give a first-hand account from Monica over pool members and their story. There's a reason why they didn't quote Monica's story is because Monica's story probably didn't happen.
Because they're going to go before a judge, or if Monica and Ron have their way, a judge and jury. So he ate a jelly bean with my name on it.
Got him.
Fucking serious?
Hey, now Chicago has something productive to shoot. I'm just reading through this.
Zombie raccoons are coming for Chicago.
Apparently.
Cool.
Yeah, Laurie's.
I'm looking into this now.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they had to produce them. They should keep an eye on that. Why are y'all talking about raccoons in the chats?
It's comics cats, dude.
Damn comics cats, man. They just disrupt everything. I don't get it, man. Just don't understand.
Goddamn color ball. Just come in and just fuck shit up.
Yep. And so you got crazy people worried about they might have to actually go to court, which I knew was going to happen. I said they're going to see so, and they Pool's thrown under the bus. Whoever owns that Tumblr blog is under the bus now. Rooster Teeth is under the bus because Casey claimed that Rooster Teeth did an investigation, but Rooster Teeth never mentioned an investigation in their reason for getting rid of Vic Mignogna.
Yeah, it's more than likely that they just heard that Funny did an investigation and that was good enough for them.
Mm-hmm. And also, here's the key. If Funny did the investigation, how did they find out what the findings were?
Well, it's almost as if a couple of loudmouths went on Twitter and told everybody.
Or doesn't one or two of those loudmouths also work for Rooster Teeth?
Say.
That's
right.
Yeah.
In fact, one of them just got promoted as soon as Vic was fired.
$10 says the quality of their stuff goes way down afterwards. But yeah, no. Because here's what I find funny. Here's what I find funny. As I repeated last night, especially with the case of Monica, which they bring up a good point. Why didn't they use Monica's quote first-hand account, right? Because she states matter-of-factly in a tweet, "It happened to me."
That's just opinion, according to the lawyer.
Yeah. He did say that. Yeah, he said this is all opinion. This is fair use.
This is just.
This is parody. This is parody. It was a joke. It was a lark. Lol. We
was only fooling, Mr. Beard. Please don't sue us. We promise we won't do it again.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, okay, guys. But the whole Rooster Teeth thing. Don't get me started. I could talk for days about how they shit on Monty Ohm after he passed away, and everything. But
I can tell you how they fucked up that brand new series they spent a lot of money on, Genlock.
Mm-hmm.
I sat through that show because the opening was really fucking cool.
Mm-hmm.
But after sitting through, I was like, man, they've got a huge star-studded cast, some big names here.
Mm-hmm.
And they completely fucked up the pacing of that first season to where it's they could have gotten so much more out of this, and it's just not good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, her lawyer's an idiot. Yep, her lawyer's an idiot. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, that's I for the life of me, I still cannot figure out why he didn't use the, my client was assaulted by Vic Mignogna. That would be the best. Honestly, I mean, that's a supposed firsthand account, right?
Yeah.
An admitted one on Twitter. If it's not defamation and it's true, then why not use it? Not once did that come up in any document. 10 pages. And all they did was quote Pull and Tumblr blogs and IO9.
Like I was telling you earlier, my favorite was where they mentioned that defendants are not liable because of a statute that says that if you make a defaming statement to somebody that knows the defaming statement is not true, then you're not liable.
Mm-hmm.
And that's in their answer.
Yep. And also on top of that, when it comes to these answers, you can literally, from what I understand, you can literally say anything. It doesn't have to be true or not.
Yeah.
But I still don't get why he didn't use Monica's supposed first-hand account. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Honestly, it feels like this dude's just like, in the Texas spirit, let's just load up some buckshot and see what happens.
There's also the possibility that she didn't tell him that.
She told him there was an investigation, not what the events, specifically the investigation, focused on.
Mm-hmm. And also, but I'm thinking she didn't, she admitted on Twitter, it happened to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's the question. If it happened to her, why wasn't that as like, Vic Mignogna actually assaulted my client?
Yeah.
Why wasn't that in there?
Yeah, why don't you open with that? That's a fantastic opening. Like, defendant is not liable because plaintiff assaulted my client.
Yeah.
The only thing I can think of is the fact that they have to prove it.
Well, yeah, that's
and there's
the thing.
No way to prove it.
Exactly. There's no way to prove it because, more than likely it didn't happen. But
right.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Which, to people out there that do have like bad shit happen to them, go to the cops as quickly as possible, because as soon as that happens, it's kind of like a ticking timer to when they can't get evidence anymore. And even if they try to bring justice for you, they can't because the proof is gone.
Right.
So that sucks and all, but it's a terrible thing to go through. But if you do go through that, go to the cops as quickly as possible. Get that evidence together as quickly as possible.
Mm-hmm.
It only helps you in the end.
Right. And see, like I said, I don't know. I mean, okay, apparently I'm getting explained why they couldn't use it as use her first-hand account. Sometime we should chat with. They could type a little faster. That would be
Man, I've been overlooking the chat here. Fucking people talking about Tenchi Muyo.
Yeah.
My people.
Mm-hmm.
I love you even more now.
Yep. Invader Zim is coming back, but it's on Netflix and it's just a movie. I think I had stopped with anything Nickelodeon by the time that Invader Zim came out. So.
By the time I got into Invader Zim, it was already over and it was in syndication.
Mm-hmm.
And there were a bunch of shows that I had missed that I was starting to get into because I let's see what else Nickelodeon has. And that's when I started getting into Fairly Odd Parents and Danny Phantom.
Mm-hmm.
Once their run had ended and they're in syndication.
Right. A lawyer, once he learns the lie, must correct the record. Oh no, Hillary Clinton. See, that's what I don't get. I don't why if they wanted to take Vic out so bad, why didn't they just have him trick him into saying, "I have evidence that will lead to the arrest of Hillary Clinton"?
Yeah, then nobody will question. Vic was just suddenly really, really depressed, and he shot himself in the back of the head twice at a downward angle, and nobody will question it.
Mm-hmm. And don't forget the fact that when he killed himself, he wrapped himself in a rug and dumped himself in a dumpster.
like you always talked about.
Yep. He mentioned it several times. I mean, it was.
Yeah, we were just partying one time, and Vic was like, "Hey, I've always wanted to shoot myself in the back of the head, roll myself up into a carpet, and throw myself in the dumpster." I'm like, "Okay, dude, I'm trying to get some puss over here, but
Yeah. I'm just here,
good luck."
dude. I'm just hanging out, man.
Yeah.
I was like, I came here to have party, and you're talking about some weird shit, dude. I mean, I don't know what your kinks are, but
Vic, yeah, you're a terrible fucking wingman.
yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Piper is not feeling well. But she might have some good news. She might have an actual means of conveyance soon. So.
You mean we're only gonna have to do like one more painting stream?
No, she apparently she's dropping tomorrow to get an actual moving vehicle.
Nice.
And hopefully only a few things that need to be fixed. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah. So, but I still think she should do painting streams at this point, just because it's at least a decent amount of money.
Let's change it up to like once a month then.
That'll work. Oh, Shinobi Raccoon hit 100 subs. Congratulations! Congratulations on 100 subs, dude. Appreciate it. This week's been an emotional roller coaster, and it's only Tuesday. Dude, I know. I got it. I got you. I got you, fam. I know what you're talking about.
Piper, what you don't understand is when Bison came to your village, it was the most important day of your life. For me, it was Tuesday.
Like I said,
Julia.
And the painting streams are pretty cool. I'm not gonna say. I want her. Like I said, the idea. Okay, chat. Chat, I got an idea. Tell me what you think. With 23 people watching right now, and I'm also going to bait and see if he's here. How many of you would feel? How would y'all feel if Piper tried to paint Cyberfrog?
Yeah, we'll do that at the end of the month.
Yeah. How would y'all feel about that? Trying to. You know who I just tried to bait to see if he's here, right? Paint Cyberfrog. That would be cool.
All of a sudden, pops in the chat. Hey, you should pay Bigfoot Bill.
Doug, get out of here. Do it. EVS is on High Council. Yeah, he can get. He doesn't have to be on High Council. He can be listening to us too.
Probably has feelers.
Yeah. OMG, the pressure. I might. There's one of his line arts that he just did today, and I think that would be a good it's like a face reaction shot of Cyberfrog, and I think that might be one she could try. Yeah.
Okay.
Paint Cyberfrog.
I think it would be good to do once a month, and we could still do the meme shit where auction off top and bottom.
Yep. He was cutting heads off shitty Star Wars figures. Well, I'm glad we're back to normal EVS now that he's moved into his new house. That's funny. I mean, is there really such a thing as shitty Star Wars action figures? I mean, come on, let's be honest.
Ethan, dinner! Yeah, I just got 20 more roast Chicos to go through, and then I'll be down.
Yep.
This one I will just cut the head off. This one I must dismember one limb at a time. This one,
we could do
saving
different.
That for the 4th of July.
Yeah, we could do different indie characters. And like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to be an Apu, right? I mean, a character called Cyberfrog that is also a retarded frog would be kind of weird and funny, but, maybe we could try to like push Piper's range a little bit.
I'd love to find out that Piper doesn't suck at painting and is actually really, really good.
Well, she is good at painting. I mean, she does the Apu's really well. Um, very accurate.
Yeah.
Except she couldn't do like little smug Zach Poo's little hand. You know,
Yeah.
she omitted the hand. Cyber Bunny, Samus Apu.
How could you tell with the helmet on?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Nobody knew
Yeah,
Samus was a woman until she took her helmet off. I bought the girl from Rogue One, Jyn Erso. And the only reason I know that is because I was watching some Red Letter Media the other night.
She wasn't a terrible character.
No.
I think she did all right.
Basil Oregano. Alderaan. Jyn. Jyn. Jane's her mother. Did you guys talk about Brie Larson wanting to play Samus? I'd rather shoot myself in the face.
She doesn't have the height to be Samus. Samus is like 6 foot.
She also doesn't have the ass for Samus. Samus has a nice ass.
Well, a lot of tall girls are built that way too.
Yeah.
You know, they're tall. They got those curves to go with it, and as the good Lord intended.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, as far as paint stream this week, I don't know. It's up to Piper if she wants to or not. Leaving that up to her, considering her week. I don't know.
Yeah, we can bully her into doing what we want, but
yeah. Since she's had one of those weeks, we're just gonna we'll let her decide. So I don't get accused of false advertisement. Let me get to the other topics we got. As you can see, Rian Johnson's head is very round. It's a very, very round head. And apparently he's not getting his Star Wars trilogy. So.
Oh, so sad.
Yeah, I'm so upset. So upset that Rian Johnson will not get to ruin Star Wars. And honestly, I was at first excited about the producers and writers of Game of Thrones doing a Star Wars movies, and it was going to be based in the Old Republic. But after this current season right now, I'm like,
Well, it's important to remember that in the earlier seasons, when they was doing all that good shit, they had these long, thick tomes to base their shit off of. Now they're at a point where they have cliff notes, and maybe they have a 50 to 100 page treatment of what George is actually finished at this point, and where he thinks it's going to go.
Yeah.
So they're kind of playing fast and loose with shit, because it's got to kind of end where George said it was going to end.
Yeah.
So they can't really fuck around with it too much too hard. And there's probably situations where, because they went a different path than George did, because they had no idea what the fuck he was planning, because he was very hush-hush about it for a while.
Yeah.
Like Sansa Stark. Sansa Stark in the books has a much different path than Sansa Stark in the show.
Yeah.
She does mostly nothing in the books. She just gets whisked away to place to place to place. And I think the last book is where they actually try to start doing something with her, and then the book is over.
Right.
So maybe if they have the Old Republic and there's just an outline of this is what happened in the Old Republic.
Well, I think the good thing you could say about Old Republic, if they go with the Revan route, right?
Which everyone wants them to, because why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, if they go with the Revan route, you got two choices. Either he redeems himself and, brings peace to the galaxy, or he returns to being Darth Revan and fucks shit up. Either way, you're good.
Oh yeah. It just depends on what kind of mood people are in, because people love seeing heroes succeed, but people also love to see heroes fall. fall,
Mm-hmm.
and evil to triumph because it so rarely happens.
Mm-hmm. Hold on. We have a issue here. I'm gonna have to fix that later. Anyway, um,
They might try to go to say, it's the Darth Revan route. This is our Thanos snap, and then we're gonna make an entire season to 2 seasons out of all the people left behind trying to clean up and stop Darth Revan.
yeah,
Which, depending on how it goes, it could be good, it could be bad. It's just part of it depends on the cast. Because
mm-hmm.
you got a shitty cast, or you got an okay cast, but they like to run their mouths and piss people off. You're gonna have
Mm-hmm.
a bad time.
Yeah. They could just stick with the
Like,
fall of Revan. Everybody would love to see the Mandalorian Wars. I mean, yeah,
you know,
I think the Mandalorian will do well. Yeah, we'll see.
I think it would be important to whatever cast you hire, you
Mm-hmm.
put some fucking behavioral clauses into their contracts that they're not allowed to go on the Twitter and they're not allowed to say certain things.
Like, the only thing you better be doing is fucking promoting this shit.
Doesn't matter who you voted for. Go fucking see this movie.
Yep.
Doesn't matter. We all like Star Wars. Star Wars likes you. Give us your fucking money. That's all. That's all. That's all. At the end of the day, that's all Disney cares about. Give us your fucking money. The end.
Yep.
But no, you got motherfuckers that'll go there, run their mouths, and then everyone is surprised that after you spent a year and a half telling people not to go see this movie, that nobody went to go see this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look what happened to Empire.
Yeah.
Apparently, they're getting canceled.
Yep. They not only did they get woke, they tried to go beyond that and fake shit. Well, not they, but one of their people, and then stood behind that dumb shit when one of their dumb shits did some dumb shit, and now they're going broke.
Fucking ultra woke stinked.
Pretty much, yeah.
Or Woketra instinct.
No. You got to understand the new English term, Xavier, is autonomous ultra instinct. I don't know why they added autonomous. I have no fucking clue. And I could get in. Oh God, I'm not going to tonight because that would be another hour. But they made. They changed the theme, Xavier. They made the English theme is different. One of the lines, I'll just put it this way. One of the lines is, it's basically saying, let's fight for fun. In a tournament that is literally deciding the fate of your universe.
Well, to be fair, Goku's doing it for fun. He doesn't really give a shit about the universe.
Not at that point. Not when he first went Ultra Instinct. Remember, at that point, he had to break his ceiling just to survive. Because it was the one time Goku did not want to die and was not self-sacrificing.
Yeah.
He achieved a new level because he literally broke himself.
Death's just this thing, I'll be back.
Yeah.
No.
No,
Not
you
this
won't.
time.
By this time, you screwed up. But yeah, anyway, so, and I think the rumor has been confirmed. I think Bob Iger said there will not be a Rian Johnson trilogy. I mean, what would his trilogy even be about anyway? Who cares, right? Just like I said, I don't really want to go into that. Rumors of exit. Earlier this year, rumors began floating saying Rian Johnson will be attached to his projected movie series website, Super Bro Movies. But that's a great website name. Originally published the rumor, which soon jumped upon Screen Rant, quoted multiple sources that Johnson was no longer involved. Johnson took to Twitter to debunk these rumors, which then began to cool. But with Campy's new video, Where is the Truth? Has Johnson left his new project? Audiences are divided on his past movie, The Last Jedi. At the time of this article, the movie sits at a 44% audience score. Did you ever think you would see a Star Wars movie? I mean, even the prequels, right? Counting the prequels, yeah.
Even the prequels have their place. Like,
yeah. But you ever think you would see a 44% audience score on a Star Wars movie?
In non-profitable Star Wars franchise where people don't even want the toys or the merch.
Mm-hmm.
Even the people that even the people that do like it
Yeah.
don't want the merch, and the people that do like it are some fucked up individuals.
Mm-hmm.
Like you want a good gauge for who not to spend time with. The
Yep.
people that actually do like The Last Jedi
Mm-hmm.
are some like really demented motherfuckers. Like the kind of abuse that Mark Hamill was getting from those people,
Mm-hmm.
just because he posted that picture of him with Harrison Carey and Billy D in the Millennium Falcon cockpit.
Yeah.
Like they were telling him to hurry up and die so so they can have the movies they like.
Oh, you mean the movies they don't go to see?
Yeah.
You mean the movies that nobody? That's what I say. They don't buy things, right? They don't go to see things. They don't do things like that. They don't spend money. You know who spends money? Normies.
Yeah. They talk about the toxic Star Wars fandom, and it wasn't the people that were always loved Star Wars. They were fine. You just don't give them shitty product.
I remember.
And even when you do give them shitty product, like the Droids cartoon and the Ewoks cartoon,
Mm-hmm.
as long as it's kind of enjoyably shitty, they don't care.
Mm-hmm. Like, for example, like when my cousin, one time when it was the year that Force Awakens came out, and we were the family was getting together for Christmas and stuff, and she asked me, I didn't know this. She asked me, "Have you seen the new Star Wars movie?" I'm like, "No, I hadn't seen it yet." She says, "Oh man, I thought it was good." I was like, "Wait, you seen it?" She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "You're a fan of Star Wars?" "Yeah, I love Star Wars." I was like, "I never knew that about you." I said, "I've known you, honestly, my whole life." I mean, this is like me and this cousin. We're so close. It's like a brother sister thing, right?
Yeah.
And she was telling me all this, and I was like, "I did not know that you." See, that's what I'm. And my cousin is the definition of a normie, right?
Yeah.
Like, she actually has a family and shit. So it really surprised me. So that's what I mean. Like, normies go spend money because normies have disposable income, right?
Yeah.
And that's what normies do. And SJWs and people like that, they don't buy that shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The SJWs, if they do buy it, will buy only the good guys because why would I buy fucking fascist toys?
Yeah.
To the normie, it's you buy the heroes and you buy the villains, so your heroes got guys to fight.
Do you buy the Autobots and not buy the Decepticons?
Yeah. You need guys for your good guys to fight, otherwise they're... What are you doing?
Yeah. I mean, if you buy Optimus Prime and Ironhide, and that's all you have, so are you going to have Optimus Prime fight Ironhide?
Yeah, they're best friends. Why would they fight?
Yeah. It's like that's it's kind of weird. As much as I hate Jar Jar, his canon future is depressing as fuck. Yeah. Oh man, did you ever hear about like Jar Jar's canon future?
I did not.
Oh man, it's so sad. I mean, feel bad. And I thought Jar Jar was garbage, right? But genuinely feel bad for Jar Jar because he literally becomes a clown. And what I mean by that is he goes back to Naboo and he's like around he lives around the palace, but he's basically a street performer.
Mm-hmm.
And he like hangs out and he just like, entertains the children and they like make fun of him and stuff like that. And this is what make you feel bad is because he feels responsible for the Empire. And I was like, well, you should, you fuck, because it was your fault.
Do they still consider it canon when the Empire was first formed? Those couple of Jedi gathered on Naboo to form their rebellion against the Empire, and that was one of the first missions Vader had as Vader, was to go to Naboo and subjugate the planet.
I don't know if that's canon or not. I will say there's been some stuff, and I hate, I've read some of the stuff from the Darth Vader comics, which would be considered canon,
Yeah.
because it's under Disney, so Marvel, so that's would be considered canon.
As I understand, some of those are really good,
Mm-hmm.
but it's very much this one's good, This one's not.
Right. Like for example, like one time he had an order from Sidious that he had to go. Basically, it was to bring the Outer Rim in line with
Yeah.
the Empire, not necessarily conquering it. You know.
Yeah, because it's
But
physically impossible. You can't do it.
Well, that's what they say. But remember, this is before. This is what they probably could have if they had a functioning Death Star. Right, but at this point,
Yeah.
they didn't have a functioning Death Star, so he was basically saying that basically he was lining things up so they could eventually take over the Outer Rim. So before we do that, we're just gonna make peace, not make peace with the Hutts, but basically make the Hutts realize where they are in the pecking order for real.
Yeah, if you make the Hutts realize they work for you, the Hutts will do the work for you as long as you give them something to nibble on.
Yeah, and they had this whole arc was like Vader needed like Boba Fett to basically kidnap somebody for him, but then he hired another bounty hunter who worked with Fett, who was a Wookiee. I didn't know Fett had his own Wookiee, and he ordered him to like kidnap this guy who was working for the Emperor because the Emperor was, Emperor was like the whole time he had Vader, he was trying to replace Vader, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And it was basically so Vader could prove that he still belonged as his apprentice. But neither here nor there. So he's having this meeting, and he says, "So are you done here?" He said, "Oh yeah, I'm." And Vader's like, "Oh yes, I'm done here." And then you look down from where he was standing, and there was like an entire village of dead sand people. I was like, I think he's still got some issues that he needs to work out there.
It was a beautiful day in the neighborhood. He's trotting around.
It's a
He's
beautiful
twirling the
day
lightsaber.
in the neighborhood.
Things that bother you never bother me as he's twirling the lightsaber and fucking sand people are going to pieces.
Yep. And there was one good one. He went to this planet, and he was basically told to go to the planet to, they had a rebellion. There was rumblings of rebellion, and he was there to put it down, essentially. And essentially, it started off with like, we need, we're having this ball in your honor, and we want you to attend for Darth Vader, right? And so he shows up, and like one of the people, like one of the top people, like a senator or something like that. One of the things is if you're asked to dance, then you're supposed to dance, but and if you don't, it's an insult, right? And so he asked Vader to dance with his daughter. And of course, Vader's having none of that shit, right?
Yeah.
Well, it turns out that like it wasn't just rebellion. The entire planet basically lured Vader, the upper crust of the planet lured Vader there to kill him. Yeah. So the idea was, that they could trap him and kill him. First, they were going to make it look like an assassination by their quote enemies, and then they just like at the end they were just like, okay, straight up, we're just going to kill this guy, right?
The thing is, with precognition with the dark side of the Force is a lot better than with the light side of the Force. Light side is I said some bad things are gonna happen. Dark side is Vader's in trouble. He's gonna die. We gotta go now.
Yep. Yeah, the fabulous Sith Gala Galactic Empire celebration.
Yeah. The only way you're gonna pull one on Vader is if you like Minority Report that shit.
Yeah. But and I gotta mention that he brought a present for the royal family, right? We'll get to that in a minute. The present that he brought them. It was in a big, huge box, right? A huge box. So, okay, he's pretty much aware. The thing is like, they're going to kill him, and of course he knows they're trying to kill him.
Yeah.
He already knows. So he goes and finds the king, and he fucking just murders him, after they tried to kill him. And then the daughter said something, like, you killed my father. And he said, yes, and now you're going to be the queen. And he says, and you're going to work for us. And it was essentially, do you care about your planet? And she said, of course. And he says, open the present I brought for you. And like I said, it was a big, huge box. And she opens up, it was a little chunk of rock. And she goes, what is this? He said, that's Alderaan.
damn. Fucking damn. Holy shit.
That's like, why can't we get more of this Vader?
Yeah, that Vader's fucking badass.
Yeah. We want more of this.
Yeah, and here comes Chuck Wendig. Or Vader's gay side.
Mm-hmm. No, we want
become Lord Gator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like somebody said, I want more of like badass Vader. I don't want like. Well, there was this one thing where like he tried to go back in time to resurrect Padme.
That's dumb.
Well, remember obsession.
Well, I feel I can understand the obsession thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's the whole going back in time. The only way I can imagine it working and it not being fucking bullshit is if he tried to use the power of the Force to kind of reverse reincarnate himself.
Yeah.
Wherein it's his future self inhabiting his past body, kind of like they did in Days of Future Past.
Mm-hmm. So people have apparently gotten to the story that I was telling.
Yeah.
Like Yellow Lantern says, "Damn, Vader gives 0 fucks," and Joe says, "I nutted."
Vader's yandere arc was just terrible.
Yeah. There was a like cool thing where he had they had the whole they had the origin of his red lightsaber, where he had stolen because he lost his Anakin's lightsaber, right?
Yeah.
And so he not stole, but he basically took a lightsaber from another Jedi. I forgot who it was, but he was a master, and he took his lightsaber, and then he was ordered to go to a planet to bleed it. Because in new canon, instead of how it used to be synthetic red lightsabers, lightsaber crystals.
You can also find reds.
Yeah, you can also find reds. Now you bleed the crystal. You bleed it of its like good, its goodness to make it evil, essentially. And the crystal can resist. I'm
okay with that. I'm okay with that a little bit because there's always been weird lore with lightsabers wherein there's that one saber that is like it's so fucking cursed and full of the dark side that people that handle it barehanded go fucking insane.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with that, but the idea that red, you have to bleed the good out of the red lightsaber, it kind of takes away some of the whole shades of gray. It's like, no, the light and dark, these are two very real sides that are in opposition to each other. There's no shades of gray. That's all bullshit.
Well, no, actually there is. There is. Did you ever watch Rebels?
I know they tried to introduce the Gray Jedi into that, and that's when they first showed the crossguard saber, so that people would stop making fun of Kylo Ren.
But no, essentially Ahsoka is now a Gray Jedi, right?
That's fine. I'm perfectly okay with that.
Yeah, because she stole when she killed some Inquisitors, right? And apparently you can reinfuse red crystals with light, but instead of being blue or green or whatever color, they're white. And that's why she's essentially a Gray Jedi, because her lightsabers are white.
Okay, now that's stupid. You're not a Gray Jedi because your saber is a certain color.
No.
You're a Gray Jedi because of what you believe. And,
that's the thing. But you got to listen. Look, I was telling you one piece of a story. That's not. But whenever like when they had their confrontation, her and Vader, he said something because she said something. Oh yeah, because he said Anakin Skywalker was weak. I destroyed him. And she said, "Then I will avenge his death." And he said, "Revenge is not the Jedi way." And she says, "I am no Jedi."
Huh.
Basically, she still believes the tenets of the light, right? Which is what a Gray Jedi, does. But they're not afraid. They don't believe in the dogma of the Jedi.
She's willing to eat some dark side points to get Force lightning.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Which many of you may not have played one of the Star Wars tabletops.
Mm-hmm.
You have light side points and dark side points, and
Mm-hmm.
you need so many points of each in order to get certain powers, and you can only take so many dark side points before you take an alignment change.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's always very much
Mm-hmm.
you're kind of min-maxing and you're gaming it.
Let's put it this way: I wish Dave Filoni was running the Star Wars lore instead of Kathleen Kennedy, because Dave Filoni actually cares about the fucking Star Wars.
Well, the fact that you know that Kathleen Kennedy doesn't care is the fact that they wiped everything,
Yep.
even the shit people liked.
Mm-hmm. Except Clone Wars. They couldn't get rid of Clone Wars because they made that canon.
Well, it's like, leave the Thrawn trilogy in there at least. Leave the fucking, was it the Heir to the Empire? That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
There were a lot of stories you could have left in that they didn't. And I understand why, because it's very much then we don't have the freedom to tell the stories that we want to tell because it all has to fit within this scope. That's why you were deciding what to take out and what to leave, because so you could find places to fit shit.
Yep.
Also, you could tell stories about, young Luke and, young Leia and all these other people. All you'd have to do is set up the right context, like old Luke Skywalker sitting around a campfire with a bunch of Jedi trainees, and they're asking to tell him, like, cool stories from back in the day. And so Luke starts telling him the story of this adventure he and his friends did. And you go and you zoom in the eyes of one of the kids, and it's basically him imagining what he thinks young Luke Skywalker would look like. He's played by a different actor.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. They could tell so many stories as long as they're done right,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody wants another bullshit Star Wars trilogy. Hell, the sequel trilogy is pretty much a big write-off.
Yep.
It doesn't matter what hoops they try to jump into for Episode 9. It's not going to be good. It's going to be a hot mess.
But remember, no one's ever really gone.
It's true. Hey, Happy. Nice jacket.
Oh my God, I want a scene with with Anakin and Obi-Wan and Yoda and Chubbs. Oh, the scene in when Happy's in heaven.
Yeah.
When Carl Weathers just over there playing the piano. He should be him, but have the ghost of Anakin and Luke. I mean, not Luke. Yeah, you could have Luke too. Fuck, man, they're all dead, right? So Anakin and Luke and Qui-Gon and all them fuckers are just sitting there as ghosts. And he's just like, we've only just begun to live.
So anyway, they said I could join the council, but I wasn't a master.
Oh, because you're black? Hell no.
No.
Damn Wookiee bit off my hand.
I took that some bitch's eye.
You're a sick man, Master Chubbs. Oh God, Happy Gilmore is a Star Wars movie. That'd be great.
Adam Sandler would be in a good movie.
Oh God, I want to edit of Happy Gilmore of like every time he's playing golf, it's just like lightsabers.
Okay, got the alert that Rackets is on. We got one more story to get through.
All right, let's roll through this. All right, let's end this with some. Oh, wrong thing. There we go. End this with some good news. Stan Lee's ex-manager, Kia Morgan, charged with elder abuse, false imprisonment, and more. I say good because fuck this guy.
If you guys recall, he was the reason why Stan Lee was all of a sudden isolated from his daughter for like a year. And this dude was also stealing money from him. He stole like $500,000 from him.
He stole the man's blood.
Oh, shit, that's right. He was stealing his blood, too.
Mm-hmm.
Had him gaslit into think that his daughter was out to get him.
Yep.
His friends were out to get him.
Mm-hmm. Because I remember even come to a point where Kevin Smith, I don't, wherever you stand on Kevin Smith, I don't care. But, this is one of those good guy Kevin moments where he said, like, he was like trying to get in touch with Stan. It's like, dude, you could come live with me. You know, like,
I'm not as fond of Kevin Smith as I used to be
mm-hmm,
because he's kind of a tard these days. But
mm-hmm.
I think he means right.
Yeah, yeah.
I think he's
I think the
at the
heart
core,
attack
he's a
fucked him
decent
up.
person.
I think the
Yeah.
heart attack fucked him up a little bit, but his heart was in the right place in this matter. You know.
Yeah, it kind of made him rethink his life.
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna read through this really quickly, and then we can quickly discuss it, and then go watch Rackets. The former manager of Stan Lee, Kia Morgan, has been charged with 5 counts of elder abuse that include false imprisonment, fraud, and forgery. Reuters reports a spokeswoman for the Los Angeles Superior Court Public Information Office indicated an arrest warrant had been issued for Kia Morgan. In June of last year, Morgan was arrested on suspicions of filing a false report. Stanley's daughter, JC, would accuse the former manager of elder abuse. The Daily Beast, Mark Ebner, would state Morgan had been claiming that he had been with Stan Lee for 10 years and that it was JC who was committing elder abuse against Stan Lee. However, JC disputed that claim in another interview with Ebner. No, he was with him for 6 months, that period of time, and a year or two before. In the same Go ahead.
I remember a story that they told. It was this dude came into Stan's bedroom in the middle of the night. It was like 2, 3 in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
and just whisked him away to a fucking safe house.
Mm-hmm.
And Stan couldn't talk to anybody or go anywhere for like a week or 2 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
while they quote unquote waited for the heat to die down.
Jesus. Let's see. In the same interview, Stan Lee would go on to comment about Morgan last October. As Joni says, he was with me for about 6 months. I found out that he wasn't really what I signed on for, so I let him go. When asked about whether or not Morgan was making the accusations against his daughter, Stan responded, I don't know that he was, but it wouldn't surprise me, no. Lee elaborated on his relationship with Morgan. He was Sir Galahad. He was a guy helping me. I can't do everything. I thought he'd maybe help JC. It didn't work. In fact, he turned out to be quite a disappointment. I think he was wanted by the police, but I'm not sure. Oh, Stan, even near the end, you were telling it like it is. Lee would also address a video where Stan Lee told Kia Morgan that JC's lawyer, Kirk Schenck, was giving her drugs and was a bad influence. Well, I heard that he'd been saying things against her, but that doesn't surprise me because there is so much of that happening in Hollywood. When you stop working for somebody, you can have an unfriendly misalliance. Reuters reports indicate that Morgan, accused of seizing control of Lee's Hollywood Hills home and hiring security guards with orders to keep away relatives and associates before moving the comic creator to an unfamiliar condominium. That's probably where you heard that story.
Yeah, that's the story I remember.
Yeah. Let's see. And real check at the chat, but the thing it says, man, I hope he gets some real time. If a chick did this, they wouldn't see a day in jail. That's not wrong.
No.
I hate to say it. Let's see what the chat is saying. It makes some yeah. Stan Lee.
Joe making fun of us for saying rackets.
What's wrong with Nicky Rackets? Yeah, dude, fuck that guy. Fuck that guy in the locker room. Woof. But yeah, this is the definition of fucked up bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Like, holy fuck, dude, what are you doing? I don't get it, man. I mean, I understand, Stan Lee is a very popular figure, and of course people would want a piece of that pie,
Oh yeah.
So it just, I guess it upsets me, gets me because my grandma is like around his age, when Stan passed away. She's still alive, but and she's got Alzheimer's, so she could be very easily manipulated,
Yeah.
And I would, thinking somebody could do that to her kind of puts me in a headspace that, like, I would like to be alone with this guy for about 20 minutes with some hot pokers.
Yeah.
And let him get a very familiar introduction with hot pokers. I was making a couple of Comics Cats posts with Creepy Garfield. Oof. And we're gonna, we're gonna have to check that hashtag, right? See what them
Yeah.
crazy, what you crazy lads are doing.
Damn you, Comics Cats!
You want okay? It's Nick Rekieta. That's how you pronounce. It's Rekieta. That's why we call him.
You let Joe bully you like that?
No. He just says I'm known for pronouncing wrong. He's asking. It's not really bullying. He's asking. Yeah. So. Yeah.
I'm just giving you shit, Joe.
Yeah. Yeah, Joe. You can't bully the unbullyable. Oh wait, that's Cab. Cab's not here though.
You fool! What have you done?
Apparently, I've become a gay Florida man.
You never recover.
I am pretty much done now. My grandfather lived with us. He had dementia really bad. Lived with us 6 years. That's why I want this guy fucked. I want to tell the other inmates what this guy did. I want some prison justice. I mean, yeah. Yeah, that's the thing, man. Especially at the feeble state that Stan was in near the end. I mean, the guy couldn't barely hear. He couldn't barely see. You know?
This guy stole time from Stan and his daughter.
Yeah. And Stan and his daughter, they both admit, okay, it was not the best of times, right? It wasn't like, they were always happy. But in that
life.
Yeah, in that year or two, that could have been used for some reconciliation and you know what I mean? Just a chance.
Because he died, like, what, a couple months later?
Yeah, once they got him out of there, it was like December, because he died in December. I think it was in October roundabouts when, he got back with her. So,
yeah.
So, yeah. My skin is thicker now that they've changed some of my pills. My pills. Good, pills are good. Pills are good. Pills are really good.
I like the ones shaped like cartoon characters. I have to chew those.
Mm-hmm. So we got some, hopefully some justice coming for Stan. Even though he's not with us anymore. The only other thing I would say, I wish wish the Stan Lee account would stop tweeting.
Oh yeah.
I personally think that Stan should be, his Twitter account, what's left of it, should now stand as a memorial.
Yeah.
And,
just a pin tweet. Like a famous quote by Stan.
Mm-hmm.
Probably something that starts with "to true believers."
Yep.
Born, died, and a really, really good picture.
Mm-hmm. And don't quit using that Stan Lee website to push agendas that he may or may not believed in, because we'll never know because he's dead. Because my mom has this she has this old saying that says let the dead bury the dead.
Yeah.
I mean,
also on a lot of
mm-hmm.
With regards to changing certain characters to be certain identities and whatnot,
mm-hmm.
we already know stance was, don't change what's already written, just make new characters. Shit, I'll do it myself.
Yep. Yeah, or as like Mata said, or just say Excelsior. That's it.
There you go.
Yep. But anyway, so I think that's the end for the night, because we want to go see what Nikki's doing.
And what he's mad about tonight.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's having Doug TeNapel on, so he's probably just chilling with Doug. It's like, hey, Doug, can you make even more money with the 60 days left you got on your $100,000 campaign?
Speaking of which, I'm going to check that email that I have set up, see if he got back to us. We are trying to book him.
Yeah, and as Xavier said, as Xavier put it, which I think is hilarious, he said he basically asked Nick would he like to show up and party.
Nothing.
I even said you don't even have to talk about.
Yeah, we want to talk about the shit that you already talked about on your show. Mm-hmm. We want to ask you like stupid law questions.
Yeah. Is it legal for Piper to beat her son or something.
How can I legally be declared my own grandpa?
So I hope, Joe, I just read your comment. I'm not going to repeat it. Of course, everybody in chat saw it, but I hope you get to feeling better, brother. I know that feeling.
Yeah.
I know the feeling.
Get well, my dude.
Yep. And for everybody else, we thank you for showing up. I know it was a little late. I had a long day, so I fucking fell asleep after I ate dinner. So I apologize for being a little late. Xavier was actually here around 9:30, so he was good. So it was my fault. But as I say, since I host the show, I'm never late. So y'all have a good one, and we'll talk to y'all tomorrow.
Later.